Alright guys, in the last video I talked about how I finally scored a full-time web development job after 2 years of rigorous freelancing and just being broke, being lost, losing hope. And I just wanted to quickly share the projects I worked on, which helped me get the job, but I also wanted to give a perspective about setting your expectations about getting a web development job in 2025. So the first thing I want to say is I think a big part of me getting first of all, my exact title is front end developer, which was very surprising that I ended up as a front end developer in 2025 because I honestly thought front end development was gone. I thought everyone was looking for a software engineer or full stack developer, but I just got lucky enough that this specific company was looking for a front end developer, and I just happened to get hired. But what I wanted to say in this video is that when people accomplish things and they're able to get through to the other side of the tunnel and accomplish whatever goal or mission they had, there's a sense of survivorship bias where someone feels that they know all the answers or they're able to teach someone else to do the same thing just because they were able to do it themselves. But I think I think in my case, I can't tell you what got me hired. I got hired as a front-end developer in 2025, and I honestly I feel like that's such a niche thing right now, and it just felt impossible when I was on the other side. And it still feels like rare to get that job because it's so niche right now. But what I wanted to say is that if you're watching this video because you're trying to find out how it is out there in the job market, it's really difficult. Okay, to give you perspective, I'm not a junior developer and I am not a fresh grad. I got my first web development job in 2017, which means in about 2 years, that means I've been working for 10 years. Now, those 10 years might not be consistent, but I've always had a job like yearly. So yeah, you could just round it up and say I'm about 10 years experience. It's been a grueling last 2 years because I was freelancing because it was so hard to find a job, and throughout that experience is like I was only getting work from very small companies that were only contracting out. And if you don't know what that means, it means you don't get health insurance, you don't get PTO. It's just random projects that you get, and then you work on it and you get paid like $100 there, $200 here, maybe $50 here. I think for the last 2 years, my yearly salary or my yearly income, you're going to be shocked, it was probably like $3,000 or $4,000 a year. I mean, I think I could have made more money selling smoothies on the street, but I spent a lot of time studying, making YouTube, and just trying to keep myself sane. But yeah, like my life was me looking for a job until I got one. But part of why it worked for me is because I had a support system, and I'm just being honest with you. I think if I had more responsibilities or kids, I would have had to do anything I could to make ends meet, and that would have prevented me from getting this job. So what I'm saying is, life is really brutal. It's really unfair. And a lot of people aren't willing to speak on this because they don't want to. But that being said, a lot of kids from prestigious schools that end up working at those FANG companies like Google and stuff, a lot of them don't say it, but a lot of them also have inheritance. A lot of them have family funding, and they're just destined to work at those high-paying salaries. For me, I had a support system, but I went overdrafting my card multiple times. I skipped all the. I couldn't watch movies, so I had food and I had a roof over my head, but I wasn't going out to the movies. I couldn't. There were times where I would have to check my bank account to go get Jack in the Box, and sometimes I had money for a Jack in the Box and sometimes I didn't. So don't think I'm one of those trust fund kids, because I'm not. I you know I'm only able to. I was only able to not struggle fully because I live at home with my parents. But that doesn't mean I wasn't. That doesn't mean I was on vacation, because you could go back and watch my videos. You could tell I was not on vacation. But what I wanted to say was, it is hard, but as long as you're passionate enough and keep building projects, eventually someone will notice. The right people will notice, and if you apply for enough jobs, you will get an interview. But it's still going to be hard up until the end. Like, the amount of effort it takes to get a web development job or a front-end developer job is, I would say, is 10 times more difficult than it was in 2017. In 2017, I had just a little small pet projects and no references, no past experience, and I was able to start working. In 2025, I had 10 references. I have 60 repositories in my GitHub or something like that. I have a live website. I have live examples. My resume is filled up with experience, and it took me 2 years to find a job. If you're clicking this video hoping that I could give you a shortcut or tell you 5 steps to get a job, this isn't that video. This is a video where I'm telling you I had to have my family support me so I could study my ass off and then get lucky with a job interview, and that's how I got a front-end developer job. But that being said, I am passionate about what I do, and I'm going to show you a little project that I quickly just studied and did before I went into an interview. This project has nothing to do with the actual job, by the way. I was just running around looking for notes, and I just decided to do this like a day before. This is not production code. This is just a pet project. So I just wanted to walk you through my studying process and like brain teasing exercises. So in the code base you see here, this is just a simple React app on running on Vite, and yeah, it's just React, and it uses React hooks, pretty basic stuff. There's no database or anything. It's just a basic to do CRUD app, and how it looks is, let me pull it up. Alright, so you have it here, and as you could see, it's just a to-do list, and you could add stuff like new item, press enter, boom, pops in. You could delete a task. Ignore this is just little testing components, and then when you refresh, the state is still there because it saves in the local host of your browser. Now this isn't an app that I showed in an interview. This is just an app that I built to keep my mind stimulated and growing the day before the interview. And I just want to share like the little unique small things that you might have to do to be a step ahead of people. And for me, it was building this little app that, you know, kept my mind sharp. Now, what I'm not showing you are the 5 other apps that I built and actually presented in the interview. What I'm showing you is an exercise that I did the day before. So yeah, you click clear all, there's a pop-up. You could put yes and it deletes the whole thing. And if you notice the case, okay? So like, you see how it's all lowercase? If you add a task, it capitalizes it, like the first letter. So yeah, it's just little exercises like that that I would advise you doing, is building a small app every week, showcasing it, building a more complex version of this, putting it on your resume. So then when you're in an interview, your mind is sharp. You could talk about what you did, what impact you had. I think there's a lot of people out there that are applying for jobs, and if you ask them if they could build this, they would struggle, and they would have to use AI to generate it or something. It's like, my job doesn't even utilize that much React, but I wanted to just build this to keep my mind sharp. But I don't know if this is practical advice, but I'm just sharing you what was my process of getting hired. I also built a Shopify plugin. I had a few parody landing pages, like fake websites that were hosted, and that got a bit of attention. They were very design focused, so it looked really good. But even with that said, I was ignored a lot by hundreds or even thousands of companies. And it just took one company that thought it was very convenient for me because my skills were good enough. I lived close enough. I was willing to go into the office every day. And I guess my salary expectations lined up with theirs. And they liked the way I presented myself. So everything just sort of, I was lucky to get a job. It was probably 40% skill and 60% just random factors that were out of my control. So that's just my experience with how I got a front-end developer job in 2025. Before I end this video, I do want to show you the state of my life, that this is all real. So this has been my phone for the last month. If you can't tell, it's busted. It's barely usable. Like, I can't tell the time with my phone because it's busted. The glass is shattered. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because this is real. I'm currently going to work with this phone because I haven't got paid yet. And the reason why this phone broke is because I was lifting weights at the gym, and I dropped a 60-pound dumbbell on my phone, and I saw it smash the screen in slow motion. And I just looked at my phone, and I was like, I can't afford to get a new one. But this is just life. I wasn't even upset. I was just like, I guess I'm going to use a broken phone now that I could barely see the time. And 2 weeks later, I got called for an interview. But yeah, this all happened recently. This is all happening live. This is my phone. This is an iPhone 11. This came out in 2020. If you're 20 years old now, this phone came out when you were 15. And that is my current phone right now. So if you're asking how hungry do you have to be to get a front-end web developer job in 2025, this is how hungry you have to be. Alright. It's not easy. But I hope this inspires you, but it gives you a real raw perspective about what it actually takes. When I make these videos, I don't really go into detail about how hard I'm working or if I'm actually coding. A lot of times you see these people on YouTube talking about things, but you're not really sure if they are doing things. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are really smart programmers that make me look stupid too. Um, yeah. But anyways, work harder than you've ever worked in your life, and maybe you will have a chance in 2025. With that said, like this video, comment, I'll read it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if this video helped you or scared you. If it scared you, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. Um, but subscribe for more content, and I will see you in the next video. And thanks for watching.